Hey, Childfree Guy here. Just making an introduction. Talk about my life as a child-free 29-year-old male, and that's it. There's going to be no script. There's going to be, no. There's going to be some research about the common problems that I run into, and I do run into them. These are personal problems I see every day. So let's just talk about it. What does it mean to be child-free? To be child-free means to not have any children, whereas childless means you don't have children but you want them. I am child-free by choice. It's been my experience a lot that we grow up with what I call a life script, which means you go to school, you go to high school, go to college, get a girlfriend, get married, get a job, have kids. Not in that order, but certainly not in that order today. Now it's finish high. If you're lucky enough to finish high school without getting pregnant or getting someone else pregnant, you will. It just doesn't go like that. I fucked that up. Okay, let's try this again, since my camera is messing up. Shit. Okay, breeders. Breeders are those people that you see in malls that are, they've got a double wide stroller, 2 kids in tow, and 1 on the way. They're the people that don't really think about the consequences of, having sex without protection and what that means. And obviously they don't learn after the first, second, third, fourth, or maybe even 5th kid, and they keep doing it. I don't know if it's the government checks. I don't know. I mean, that's kind of a bad thing to say, but it's true, unfortunately. Especially living in California, it is extremely expensive. We went to New Mexico and Colorado recently to look for housing, and it was amazing what we found out there. But unfortunately, there's no work, so we're back in California. I think I mentioned DINKs, the acronym DINK, dual income, no kids. That's what my wife and I are. We've been married for 8 years this month. Next week, actually, is our 8-year anniversary. She's my best friend. I love her to death. And we talked early on about, kids and everything that, we wanted our lives to be. And kids were not part of the plan. And I knew from a very early age that I didn't want to have kids. I never saw myself as a father. When I was 13 years old, my stepbrother, who I love to death, grew up with him. He's the guy I've known the longest in my life. He was talking about 13 years old, talking about, oh yeah, one day when I'm a dad, and I'm looking at him, I'm like, dude, that's too early to be talking about that. Come back and play video games. Let's go. But now he actually had his first kids a couple of days ago. 2 little twin girls, beautiful little girls. They were oopsies, which is, his wife got pregnant when, they weren't really trying to get pregnant. They didn't plan on it, but my stepsister sent me a message over Facebook a couple months ago that said, hey, Mel's pregnant. And, I told her they were playing with fire, which means, for me at least, having sex without protection. And he told me this years ago, and I'm like, okay, I'm just waiting for the call to say, hey, Mel's pregnant, and I got it eventually. But yeah, he had his twin girls a couple of days ago. Beautiful, beautiful little girls, little healthy girls. And they, of course, Facebook is flooded with pictures. Grandma, grandpa, everybody's got pictures of the girls and him. But yeah, I'm happy for him because he, responsible parents are the ones that plan out, that have a set plan and know the realities of what it takes to raise a kid, what it does to a marriage, what it does to your work life, what it does to your home life, your schedule, everything. Those are the people that we call good parents, responsible people. And again, breeders are the other side of the spectrum, which I'm going to mention breeders a lot, and it's not, meant to be offensive. It is a fact. But, there's no helping it. There really, really isn't. But, like I was saying, we are raised to believe that someday we are going to be parents, and that's not true for everybody. Not everybody needs to be parents. And that's, something, not everybody gets the memo, apparently. Like I said, after the, second, third, fourth, fifth kid, you'd think that people would be like, okay, hey, let's start using some birth control. Or, they might be like, hey, another government check, whatever. Another tax cut, Which I don't get, because the tax cuts you get for kids are nowhere near what they cost to raise. I think the last study was about $500,000 through their lifetime, and that's just through college. That does not include college tuition. That is from birth to 18. Clothes, food, cars, insurance, the baby things, diapers, cribs, toys, strollers, car seats, everything. It adds up. It really, really adds up. And people, there is what Suzanne Jeffers calls the veil of silence, which is that little thing where you talk to any parent and they say, oh, my life is the best, my kids are great, my husband's wonderful, oh, I just have the best life ever. And then they go home to a messy house, kids are running around screaming, smearing peanut butter on the TV. She's about to go crazy until she takes her little happy pill. And then life is just jolly again. And we're raised to believe that parenthood is this wonderful, sunshine, rainbows thing. TV media, the veil of silence from real people that say that, oh, it'll be okay. You know what? It might be okay, but it's definitely not going to be what you expect it to be, and it sure as hell isn't going to be what is portrayed on the media, TV, radio, whatever. Even talking to people, they'll say, oh yeah, my kids are the best. Oh, I did this, I did that. Oh, we're great. Everything's fine. And like I said, then they go home screaming kids because they want to put on that act of my life is the best, my life is great, I'm happy, because nobody wants to live miserably, and that's the truth. Nobody certainly doesn't want to let anybody know that they're living miserably. You look at some of these people and they're like, how can they stay together? And it's like, well, they must stay together for the kids, which is a good thing, because I myself came from a broken home. That's what they used to call it. Now they call it single moms. My dad left when I was about 8 years old, and I haven't seen him since. I'm 29 now. And, I moved around the country a lot. I started in New Jersey, moved to Texas, moved to California when I was 19, and I've moved every 3 years of my life. I'm moving around in some state. And like I said, we just got back from Colorado and New Mexico scouting around for employment and housing. And it was either one or the other. New Mexico had housing, but I couldn't find employment. Denver I had a job offer in Denver, but I couldn't find any affordable housing because we were going to be living on one income while my wife goes to school. That's another freedom I enjoy, being child-free, and I love it.